Hi, I'm Catherine from Catherine Learns Stuff. Today I'm going to walk you through how to make these cute paper tulips. So let's jump in. The supplies that we need to make our paper tulips are several different colors of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. I'm going to be making my tulips yellow, pink, a lighter pink, and purple, but we'll also need some yellow for the inside of the tulips, and then we're going to have green cardstock for the leaves on the tulips. Additionally, we'll need some metal flower stems and some glue. So let's jump over to our Cricut Design Space and I'll walk you through how to use the file that I've created for this. I want to quickly walk you through how to use the tulip file that I've created. This is a pretty simple file and there's not much that we need to do. If you want to get a copy of my file, you can access it at my shop and I've left a link in the description below. All you need to do is hit the upload button and then hit upload image. And I'm going to quickly just copy and drag the image over onto my Cricut Design Space and I'm going to select continue. From here, I've got an option to change the image name or add tags. I'm just going to leave it blank and I'm going to upload this into Cricut Design Space. When you bring this in here, you're going to notice that the size might seem off. This is standard for Cricut. They like to change my file sizes. So really what we want to do is we want to change the width to about 4 inches or 5 inches. I like 4 inches. That gives us a good size for the tulip, but you can make it larger or smaller if you'd like. Now each flower needs one sort of center, 2 leaves, and a yellow inner stem. And so if you want to make 1 flower, you just leave 1. If you want to have 10 flowers, you just need to duplicate this 9 times so that you can have a whole bunch of flowers. So I'm going to quickly cut out a few of these and I will meet you at my workstation so that we can get this project started. So once we're done cutting out our pieces, what you should have is you should have 2 petal pieces, 2 green leaves, and a yellow center. Now in the design that I've created, I didn't include holes in it because I find that really small holes don't work very well when you're working with your Cricut. So all you're going to do is just sort of grab a pair of sharp scissors and spin your petals so that you can have a little hole, and then do the same thing with the second one. Now once we have these 2 holes, I'm going to grab one of my stems that I have, and the stems that I have a narrow end on the one side and a thicker end on the other side. What I'm going to do is just put the stem through the petal, the one petal, and I'm going to put the stem through the other petal so that they are together. And this is the stem that this is the hole that we're going to work with. Now, I want to keep them on this stem while I'm doing this, just so that they stay together the way that they're supposed to. I'm going to take this one off here. I'm going to put glue onto the petal just in the center here. I'm not gluing it to the stem, even though I'm getting glue on the stem right now. Don't mind that. And then I'm going to put this other piece on top, and I'm going to sort of splay them apart so that they're like this. Now the reason I'm keeping them on the stem while the glue is drying is so that I've got this hole centered. But once it's dry, I'm going to just remove it so that I've got the hole here and my flower petal for my tulips glued together with the hole in the center. Once this glue is dry, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to curl the petals together. And so I'm going to use glue to do that. These petals are cut far down for a reason. We're going to apply glue here to the center of this petal and fold the other petal on top of it for all 8 petals. And I like to start with the inner petals just because they're the ones that will be curling first. And so I do 1 petal at a time like this, and I'm just going to hold it shut for a few moments while it dries. And I'm going to repeat this for all 8 petals on the tulip. And I'm going to be putting glue, just so that we know, on the rounded edge of the inner leaf. Now when I put these one together, petals are in opposite directions. That doesn't matter, as long as we're just gluing that little bit together that we're supposed to, because this will all line up later. Now the body of our tulip is complete, and what I'm going to do next is I have this little yellow piece here. I'm going to grab a black marker. Now I've got a Sharpie. It doesn't matter what kind of marker you use, but I'm just going to color the edges here of this piece on both sides. And I'm going to use my scissors to snip this a little bit. So that this is sort of frayed out. Now that my flower is dry, I'm going to put my stem into the center of the flower. We made the original hole with the thinner end of the stem. We're actually going to use the thicker end of the stem for this part, just so that it sticks a little bit nicer inside and it actually glues better to this plastic bit. So we're just going to push this through slowly and not break our flower. And we've got this through here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to roll this center bit onto the flower. So I'm just going to dab some glue onto here. And I'm going to roll this on to this part of my flower. Now this is a little bit of a bad camera angle. I apologize. But we get the idea. So I'm just going to roll this on slowly. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue down at the bottom here to let this glue onto the purple flower itself as well. And now I'm just going to hold this here together so that it glues into place. Now that the glue is dry, I'm just going to sort of pull these little bits apart so that they come out, and then I'm going to just squish my tulip closed. Now this may seem like counterproductive, and I'm just going to give these little ends a little bit of a squish so that they stay closed. And I've got my tulip closed. So. And then I repeat the process for all the other tulips that I've made as well. Now if you want to, you can individually fold the center ones in first to give them a little bit of a closer location to the center. But I find that just squishing them all here together and then giving the little bottom of the tulip a little squish closes them nicely, and then you have some tulips. Each flower has 2 leaves, so I'm quickly just going to glue these onto my flower stem, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on both of the pieces. And I like them to sort of be close together, so I'm going to put one behind the other, and this way I can roll them together at the same time. If I roll them separately, I find that I'm always rolling them in the wrong direction, so I'm just going to roll one together. And let them dry. Now I'm just going to finish up the rest of my tulips so that I can have a whole bouquet together. And there you have it. We've successfully made a bouquet of paper tulips. I hope you've enjoyed this project as much as I have. Don't forget, if you want to get a copy of the SVG file that I've created, I've left a link for it below in the description of this video. Also, if you've tried this out, let me know how it turned out and if you've got any comments on how to make it better. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Happy crafting!